Welcome back, America. We're here with Hans von Spakovsky, who is an extraordinary lawyer, worked in the Civil Rights Division. He's Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Hans, do we know exactly where this came from, the application of birthright citizenship in Social Security and welfare benefits and other legal situations and so forth? If we do, I don't see it widely published or widely argued anywhere. Did Congress pass a statute all of a sudden and interpret birthright citizenship in some kind of way?
No, look, the only thing we've been able to figure out is that somehow this changed within the federal government's bureaucracy. I mean, for example, look, if you look in the late 1800s, there are cases there where the State Department denied citizenship passports to individuals who claimed they were U.S. citizens, and the State Department said, no, you are not, because your parents, when they were in the United States, were not U.S. citizens. At some point in the 1940s or early 1950s, the State Department apparently just kind of changed its rules and started issuing passports to individuals by only proving that they were born in the U.S., not having to show that at least one of their parents was a U.S. citizen. And by the way, this whole idea that, and this is something you're hearing from all these academics, that we just adopted British common law on citizenship, that is not true. That is not what the 14th Amendment do. And they seem to forget. Remember, Mark, we fought a war, the War of 1812. We fought a war with Britain over that concept because remember, they were stopping our merchant ships, the British Navy was, and seizing American sailors who'd been born in England because the British said, oh, you're born in England, therefore you're a British citizen. You can't become an American citizen. And we fought a war over that concept, that birth citizenship concept, saying, no, these people were now American citizens. So the idea that we simply adopted British common law, that is just not the case.
No, it really is. The pressure, it seems to me, on the court is going to be political. And yep. It's not a hard decision. To be perfectly honest with you, as I started out in our discussion, this is actually pretty clear decision. You're hearing, as you point out, all these result-oriented arguments, and they're really very thin. British common law, no, sorry, that doesn't help you. The 1898 decision, sorry, that's not even on point. Almost all the evidence in case law goes against them. But I think this Dodd decision may have had an unfortunate impact in terms of the aftermath, in terms of the mob going to their homes and pressuring them, and the media. If you're a lawyer, and you happen to be on the Supreme Court, and these people are coming to your home and they're chasing down your kids and they're using bullhorns and everything else, I'm just worried that they're thinking, wow, if we rule this way, the way the Constitution compels it, all the pressure will be on us. All the noise, all the threats will be on us, and it'll make the Dobbs decision look like it wasn't very, very much in terms of the reaction. That's my concern. Am I right?
Well, yeah, and you should be concerned, particularly because, for example, in Virginia, where several of the justices live, they've had protesters constantly at their houses, in their neighborhoods, and in those places, local authorities refused to do anything about it. And that's going to even get worse in Virginia because of who's been elected governor and attorney general. So, yeah, I'm sure they're concerned about that. I hope they do not bow to that pressure, and they do not bow to, look, they're going to be overwhelmed with amicus briefs from the academic community, liberal professors, particularly professors, all of whom are any of them in favor of enforcement of our immigration laws? No. I mean, those are the same folks that are going to be saying you have to recognize birthright citizenship, even though if they look at the legislative history of the 14th Amendment, they look at what folks like Lyman Trumbull, one of the main sponsors, were saying, it's very clear that we do not have birthright citizenship the way they interpret it.
I would tell the justices who might be watching, however, there is a new president. you can't send out the U.S. Marshals to protect you, too, regardless of what the states do. So
Right.
I hope they're not thinking that way. They will be protected. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Hans von Spakovsky, I want to thank you, my friend. And you're writing on this. As soon as you publish something, I'll bring it to the audience's attention, too, so they can read it as well. God bless you, my friend.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.